Can't hear. I can't hear.
Yes, sir. Not yet started. Just you will hear.
Okay. Right.
Dear shareholders, good morning to all of you. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for the 63rd annual general meeting of the company. I hope the shareholders are able to hear us and the audio and video are clear. I am N. Gopal Ratnam, Chairman of Seshasayee Paper Boards Limited, and by virtue of the articles of the association of the company, I am the chairman for this meeting. I have joined this AGM from our corporate offices in Erode, Tamil Nadu. Due to continued fear of resurgence of COVID-19 and the social distancing norms, we are compelled to have this AGM through VC. I look forward to meeting all our shareholders in person in the next AGM. As I said that I am joining this AGM from our corporate offices at Erode. Before we start the main proceedings, I request other board members of the video conference to introduce themselves. Mr. Sridhar, Independent Director and Chairman of the Audit Committee and Nomination and Remuneration Committee. Mr. Sridhar, will you introduce yourself?
I am Sridhar, Independent Director and Chairman of the Audit Committee and NRC, participating from my home in Bangalore. And I am alone in my room, nobody else is there with me. Thank you.
Dr. S. Narayan, Independent Director and Chairman of the Risk Management Committee.
I am Narayan, participating in this meeting from Chennai, my residence.
Okay, stop
And
video.
I am alone in the room and received all the agenda.
Mr. A.L. Somayaji, Independent Director and Chairman of the Stakeholders Relationship Committee and CSR Committee.
I am Somayaji. I am joining this meeting from my office at Aryapuram, Chennai, and I received all the papers, and my video and audio are good.
Dr. Nandita Krishna, Independent Director.
Good morning. I'm Nandita Krishna, Independent Director. I'm participating in this meeting from Uti. I have received all the papers and the audio and video are good.
Mr. Mohan Varghese Chunkat, Independent Director.
Mohan Varghese Chunkat, Independent Director. I have joined the video conference from Boston, where I'm staying with my daughter. There's nobody else in the room. I have also received all the papers. Video and audio quality are fine. Thank you.
Mr. Hansraj Verma, IAS Nominee Director of DIIC.
Yes, sought leave of absence.
He is unable to join and he has sought leave of absence. Mr. Rito Syriac, IFS Special Secretary, Environment.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rito Syriac. I work as Special Secretary to Government, the Department of Forest. I am traveling actually, so I may be facing some network issues. Kindly bear with. Nice to meet you all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rito. And Mr. K.S. Kashi Vishwanathan, Managing Director of the company.
I'm Kashi Vishwanathan. I'm the Managing Director of the company. I joined the meeting from Erode, where along with our Chairman and Director of Operations and CFO, I have received all the papers, and I'm with my experience, as I said, audio video quality is extremely good.
Mr. Ganesh Balakrishna Bhatti, Director of Operations.
Good morning. I'm Ganesh Bhatti. I am attending this meeting from our corporate office at Erode. I am Director of Operations. I have received all the papers. Audio and video qualities are good.
Mr. Arun Bijur, Special Invitee.
I'm Arun Bijur, participating in this meeting by invitation from my residence in Bangalore. I have received all the papers and the audio and visual quality is good.
Mr. Srinivas, Senior Vice President and CFO.
I'm Srinivas, CFO of the company, also the compliance officer for the purpose of this meeting. I'm joining this meeting from our corporate office in Erode, and I'm my Chairman, Managing Director and Director of Operations. Thank you.
Now auditors. Mr. N.R. Suresh, Statutory Auditor.
Morning, I am N.R. Suresh, partner Maharaj N.R. Suresh & Co., attending this meeting from my office at Chennai.
Along with me is Mr. K.V. Srinivasan, the engagement partner.
Good morning, sir. I'm K.V. Srinivasan, partner Magaraj NR Suresh & Co. I am attending this meeting from my office in Chennai.
Mr. Sanjeev Aditya, internal auditor.
Good morning. Myself Sanjeev Aditya, partner from Surya & Co. Chartered Accountants. I'm attending this office from my office in Chennai. Thank you.
Mr. Ravi, secretarial auditor.
Ravi.
I am Dr. B. Ravi, Secretarial Auditor for the financial year 22-23. I am attending this meeting from my office at Chennai.
Thank you. Mrs. Meena Ramji, cost auditor.
Good morning. I am Meena Ramji, partner of S. Mahadevan & Co. Cost Accountants. I am attending this meeting from my residence in Coimbatore. I received all papers, audio, videos.
Mr. Shankar Subramaniam, scrutinizer.
Good morning, sir. I am Shankar Subramanian, practicing company secretary, scrutinizer for this 63rd annual general meeting. I am participating in this meeting from Sri Rangam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How many shareholders are present as of now?
209.
209 shareholders have now joined the meeting through video conference. Hence, we have the requisite quorum present through video conference to conduct the proceedings of this meeting. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum as per the circulars issued by MCA and Section 103 of the Companies Act 2013. The quorum being present, I call this meeting to order. I now request Mr. Srinivas, our CFO and compliance officer of the company, to provide general instructions to the members regarding participation in this meeting.
Good morning to our directors and to our shareholders. Members may note that the 63rd annual general meeting is being held through video conference in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Facility for joining this meeting through video conference or other audio-visual means is made available for the members on a first-come, first-served basis. The register of directors and key managerial personnel, the register of contracts or arrangements has been made electronically available for inspection by the members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send their request by email to secretarial@sbbltd.com. As the AGM is being held through video conference, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members is not applicable, and hence the proxy register for inspection is not available. The company has received requests from 3 members to register them as speakers at the meeting. Accordingly, the floor will be open for those members to ask questions or express their views. The moderator will facilitate this session once the chairman opens the floor for questions and answers. Members can also post their views or questions on the Ask a Question tab on their video conference screens before 12 noon IST. It may be noted that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time at the AGM. The company had provided the facility to cast the votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice for this AGM. Members who have not cast their votes electronically and who are participating in this meeting can cast their votes during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by NSDL between 12 noon and 1 p.m. Members are requested to refer to the instructions provided in the notice or appearing on the video conferencing page for seamless participation through video conference. In case members face any difficulty, they can reach out on the helpline numbers of NSDL mentioned in the notice to this AGM. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I thank all the members, colleagues on the board and auditors for joining this meeting over video conference. Before I go ahead with my address to the shareholders, for the benefit of shareholders who have joined this AGM of the company for the first time, I would like to play you a short video presentation capturing the genesis and the growth story of our company during the last 6 decades. Corporate video to be played.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मां ज्योतिर्गमय.
Lead us from bad to good, from darkness to light. Just as the light dispels darkness, so does literacy dispel ignorance and light up the path of self-development. This desire to awaken his motherland prompted one man, Sri S. Vishwanathan, to establish a paper mill, Seshasayee Paper and Boards Limited, SPB, as popularly known in the industry. SPB, a company that produces fine papers, creating lasting impressions, has completed 6 decades of excellence as a trusted, socially responsible and customer-driven organization. SPB was founded by Sri S. Vishwanathan, SV to his friends, a freedom fighter who continued his fight even after 1947 for the country's economic freedom. SPB is a signature of SV's beliefs. Over the last 6 decades, SPB conducts its business on the following principles which Sri SV believed as the role of the industry. Serve the interests of larger sections of society. Serve the cause of poverty alleviation. Work for social upliftment. SPB SVIN Group. SPB is the flagship company of SPB SVIN Group. The other group companies are Punni Sugars, a leading sugar mill in the state of Tamil Nadu; High Energy Batteries India Limited, a company that manufactures high-performance batteries predominantly for the armed forces; SPB PC Limited, the consultancy arm of the group that provides project engineering consultancy in the areas of paper, sugar and ceramics industry; SPB SVIN Advanced Technologies Limited, a company that engages in basic and fundamental research in clean energy. The genesis and the growth story of SPB. The state of Madras, now Tamil Nadu, did not have any paper mill till the 1950s. SPB, at the request of the then state government, was established as the first integrated paper mill in the state of Tamil Nadu in 1960, with a capacity to produce 20,000 tons of paper per annum in collaboration with Parsons and Whitmore, USA, under the dynamic leadership of Sri SV. The government of Tamil Nadu participated in the equity capital of the company and till today remains a major shareholder. The last 6 decades of SPB have been marked by periodic expansion cum modernization drive, most of which under the leadership of Sri N. Gopalaratnam, who succeeded SV as the chairman of SPB SVIN Group of companies. In the first decade, ending 1970, capacity was expanded to 35,000 tons per annum by upgradation of paper machine 2 and addition of paper machine 3. In the second decade, ending 1980, capacity was expanded to 55,000 tons per annum through addition of paper machine 4. In the third decade, ending 1990, company took a key step in structuring its operations for use of bagasse, which was seen as the most reliable source of fiber for the entire industry. In 1984, the company promoted Punni Sugars and Chemicals Limited, a sugar manufacturing unit, as the captive source of bagasse supply. Punni Sugars has today grown to become a leading sugar mill in the state. In the fourth decade, ending 2000, the company embarked on a major expansion drive and increased its capacity from 55,000 tons per annum to 1,15,000 tons per annum by addition of paper machine 5 and by upgradation of some of the existing facilities. In the fifth decade, ending 2010, SPB successfully set up a 21 megawatt captive power plant. In 2006, the company embarked on a major mill development program at a cost of 350 crore rupees to improve and sustain the environmental compliance performance of the company. The project envisaged total replacement of the existing wood pulping equipment of the mill with a 400 tons per day pulp mill sourced from USA, equipped with advanced technological feature like RDH pulping and installation of a new ECF line of chlorine-free bleaching, a modern chemical recovery boiler, a lime reburning kiln and a 16 megawatt turbo alternator set. This mill development plan 1 helped the Erode unit of the company to be self-sufficient in pulp, with in-house pulp completely replacing the costlier imported pulp. The sixth decade, ending 2020, marked another chapter in SPB. SPB, which until then had sought only organic growth opportunities, drafted an ambitious inorganic growth plan through acquisition of a SIC unit in Tirunelveli, Seshasayee Papers Limited, which had a capacity of 72,000 tons, expandable to 90,000 tons per annum.
The seventh decade has begun well for the company, with successful completion of the MDP3 plan in Unit Erode during the challenging years of COVID-19 pandemic. This plan has helped us to take up paper production to 1,65,000 tons per annum, augment wood pulp production to 1,54,000 tons per annum, besides diversification to premium multi-layer board segment. Growth plans. The company has acquired the assets of Sarvalakshmi Paper Limited, situated close to our existing Tirunelveli unit, in an e-auction on a going concern basis, and is awaiting closure of liquidation formalities to commence the repair, refurbishment and upgradation of the plant and machinery for manufacture of about 75,000 tons per annum of fine papers. The company has applied for environment clearance for project MDP4 to take up in-house pulp capacity from 1,80,000 tons per annum to 2,52,000 tons per annum, besides augmenting paper production to 2,31,000 tons per annum. On receipt of EC, the company plans to take up implementation of Phase 1 to enhance pulp capacity.
The six-decade history, backed by superior project execution skills and ably guided by the experience and expertise of eminent board of directors, had seen the capacity of the company growing over 10 times, from 20,000 tons per annum to over 2 lakh tons per annum. Environment-friendly manufacturing process. The paper manufacturing process in SPB is environmentally friendly and green. SPB's process is energy efficient and elemental chlorine free. Innovative scheme of using treated water for sugarcane cultivation. SPB pioneered a unique, innovative scheme for using its wastewater treated to surface discharge standards. Instead of letting it into the river, SPB diverts its treated water for the cultivation of sugarcane, transforming non-arable dry lands to wetland. Treated water is supplied free to local farmers for cultivation of sugarcane. The farmers in turn sell the sugarcane to Punni Sugars. Punni Sugars uses the sugarcane to produce sugar and supplies its byproduct bagasse to SPB. This unique model has transformed the livelihood of the local farming community. SPB's structured lift irrigation project model has converted the surrounding dry lands into wetlands, thus providing a vast green belt. SPB has entered into a tripartite agreement with the local farmer society and its sister concern Punni Sugars Erode. Over 2,000 acres of dry lands have been converted into cultivable lands, providing livelihood to the farmers in the rural areas to whom this is lifeline. This innovative and successful model has been emulated by other industries. Tree farming program. SPB helps farmers to grow trees. As part of its tree farming activity, the company provides quality clonal seedlings of eucalyptus and casuarina, as well as bare-rooted casuarina seedlings at subsidized rates to farmers, and also assists them with technical help to achieve higher yields and revenues. SPB's contribution to society and rural development. SPB has always strived to maintain itself as a company with a human face and a responsible corporate entity. True to the definition of corporate social responsibility, SPB is committed to contribute to economic development of the neighborhood while improving the quality of life of its stakeholders. The six-decade history is not only marked by ambitious capacity expansion projects, but also marked by ambitious social upliftment addressing rural development and poverty alleviation of the local community. SPB spares no effort in the professional development and training of its employees. As part of its employee welfare, SPB provides facilities such as housing quarters at heavily subsidized rates. SPB is actively and effectively involved in the social, economic and cultural development of the communities surrounding its production facilities. Awards. Accreditations. SPB has bagged several awards for excellence in environment performance, safety, energy efficiency, etc. Notable awards are CII Greenco Gold Rating Award during Greenco Summit held at Pune in the year 2017. Green Award 2017 by Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board for Environment Protection. CII Excellent Energy Efficient Unit Award in the year 2018. SPB has won many awards and has notable recognition for its outstanding achievements in exports, productivity, environment, energy conservation, safety and industrial relations.
The most recent awards are Paper Mill of the Year Award for 2019-20 from IPMA, Indian Paper Manufacturers Association. Energy Conservation Award for 2021-22 from IPMA. CII's National Award for Excellence in Energy Management, won by the company for 5 consecutive years. CII's National Energy Leader Award, won by the company for the 3rd time in a row. CII's Innovation Award in Energy Conservation. CII's EHS Excellence Bronze Award for the year 2022. Regional Corporate Energy Award 2021 from Association of Energy Engineers, US.
SPB is certified under the Forest Stewardship Council FSC. SPB has a long-standing record with ISO 9001, ISO 14001
and ISO 45001 accreditations.
Customer focus. The transparency and uniformity of SPB's marketing policies, combined with its dedication to service its customers, has earned SPB a niche place in the paper market, both domestic as well as overseas. SPB exports 15 to 20% of its production annually. SPB exports significant volumes to demanding markets like US, showcases the quality of SPB's products. SPB continues building on its current strengths and innovating its manufacturing process and management approach. SPB, tested by time and trusted by all, will continue to maintain its name synonymous with fine papers, creating lasting impressions.
I hope that the video was clear and visible and was audible, and I also hope that the video helped the shareholders of the company to understand and appreciate the growth story of SPB, the continuous work being done by the SPB team, the areas of efficient operations, development of new products, greening the neighborhood, the massive tree farming activity. With that, I would like to move on to the customary chairman's address to the shareholders. Dear shareholders, I extend a very warm welcome again to all of you, to my colleagues on the board, the auditors, and other stakeholders of the company to this 63rd annual general meeting. I was keenly looking forward to meet our shareholders in person for this AGM. The emergence of the fear of the pandemic and the requirement to adhere to social distancing norms have thwarted our plans. We are compelled to meet only on video conference mode. Be that as it may, let us make the best use of this opportunity. Global scenario. A tentative recovery from COVID-19 in 2021 was followed by increasingly gloomy developments in 2022 as risks began to materialize. Global output contracted in the second quarter of 2022 due to downturns in China and Russia, while US consumer spending undershot expectations. Several shocks have hit the world economy, already weakened by the pandemic, higher than expected inflation worldwide, and further negative spillovers from the war in Ukraine. Global outlook. IMF in April 2023 had projected global growth forecast to fall from 3.4% in 2022 to 2.8% in 2023, before settling at 3% in 2024. Advanced economies are expected to see an especially pronounced growth from 2.7% in 2022 to 1.3% in 2023. Global inflation was forecast to rise from 4.7% in 2021 to 8.8% in 2022, to decline to 6.5% in 2023 and to 4.1% by 2024. On the surface, the global economy appears poised for a gradual recovery from the powerful blows of the pandemic and of Russia's war on Ukraine. China is rebounding strongly following the reopening of the economy. Supply chain disruptions are unwinding, when the dislocations to energy and food markets caused by the war are receding. Simultaneously, the massive and synchronous tightening of monetary policy by most central banks could start to bear fruit, with inflation pulling back towards the targets. Notably, emerging market and developing economies are already powering ahead in many cases with better growth rates. The slowdown is concentrated in advanced economies, especially the Euro area and the United Kingdom. India outlook. Care ratings in the recent report, while commenting on the IIP data for April 23, had observed that IIP surprised the upside with a 4.2% growth in April as against 1.8% in March. Mining and manufacturing sectors recorded encouraging growth for the electricity output weighed. Peak external damage weighed on the export-intensive sectors like textiles, apparel, and leather items. Output of consumer durables contracted. Consumer non-durables output grew by an upbeat 10.7%. Going ahead, the durable pickup in domestic consumption, including rural consumption, remains critical for the growth in industrial output. Even the Reserve Bank of India has projected overall GDP growth in 2023-24 to 6.45%. Considering the above, India is expected to maintain its strong GDP performance in the year 23-24 when compared to advanced economies. Indian paper industry. Indian paper industry had bounced strongly in financial year 22-23 compared to the previous 2 years of challenging financial years with the pandemic. Demand for paper, particularly the printing and writing paper, remained firm throughout 22-23. Demand for boards and packaging segment, which was firm in the first half, witnessed severe demand pressures and the realization drops in H2. However, prices remain firm and continue to increase without any pressure in the printing and writing segment in which our company largely operates. The key triggers for price increase implemented by the paper industry during the year were exorbitant increase in the prices of imported pulp and recovered paper, continuous increase in the cost of wood, significant increase in the cost of chemicals, and continued high levels of cost of imported coal. Most of the major pulp and paper manufacturers in India, including our company, have registered record levels of operational financial performance in 22-23. For the financial year 22-23 has definitely been the best ever year for the Indian paper industry in the recent past. Having said that, the international market for paper, which remained extremely buoyant until early 2022, has seen pricing pressure in the last 6 months, with significant reduction in pulp and paper prices. This trend has resulted in substantial increase in import of paper into India, exerting pressure on domestic paper prices. Though there is demand for volumes can be manufactured in the company by the company, prices are expected to soften and record realization levels seen in printing and writing segment will no longer be sustained. Here under review, our company could register a record of performance in 22-23 thanks to the favorable market conditions and the realization of benefits from our project MDP3 in Unity Road. In the first full year of our post-project completion, the company had registered key landmarks in production, sales, income, and profits, which are the highest in the annals of the company's history. The company's profit after tax stood at 386 crores in the financial year 22-23, as against 103 years in the previous 103 crores in the previous year. The annual report, the audited accounts for the year under review, have been with you for some time. I trust you would have reviewed the same by now, and you are happy with the results posted by the company. The strong cash flows and the balance sheet of the company has allowed the board of directors to recommend a dividend of 300% for the face value, the highest ever in the history of our company. The company continues to report in debt position. So Kashi Vishwanathan, Managing Director, will be covering the details of financial year 22-23 performance with a detailed presentation post my address. Strategically, the company took the right steps in going ahead with the implementation of project MDP3 in Unity Road during the challenging year of COVID-19 pandemic, and this has placed the company in right step, and the company could capitalize on the favorable market conditions with higher production and significant cost reduction, thanks to full realization of the benefits of project MDP3. The company had initiated steps on the following strategic drivers. Company has made significant progress in these strategic areas during the year-end review. Increased focus on green energy, setting up newer plants and processes for reduction in emission, reduction in chemical consumption, further diversification in product portfolio with entry into multi-layer board segment, MF craft segments, etc. Pursuit of organic and inorganic growth opportunities to augment pulp and paper production. The success that the company had derived from these areas have given confidence to the management to pursue further growth opportunities. Financial year 22-23 also marked notable awards and recognitions being bestowed on the company, like IPMA's Paper Mill of the Year Award, IPMA's Energy Conservation Award, Excellent Energy Efficient Unit Award for 5 consecutive years by CII, and National Energy Leader Award for three times in a row, again by CII. Our growth plans. Recently, the company has acquired the assets of Sarvalakshmi Paper Unit, a mill situated close to our existing Tirunelveli unit, in an e-auction on a going concern basis, and is awaiting closure of liquidation formalities to commence the repair, refurbishment, and upgradation of the plant and machinery for manufacture of about 75,000 tons per annum of fine papers. In the meantime, the promoters and the COC member have filed appeals to the Honorable NCLAT against the orders of Honorable NCLT confirming the e-action sale. The company will, of course, participate in the proceedings, take steps to have these appeals certified. With the successful completion of Project MDP-3 and with the acquisition of Sarvalakshmi Paper Limited, the company has identified the next round of strategic growth projects in further improving the sustainable competitive advantage by augmentation of in-house pulp capacity. The board of directors of the company, at meeting held on April 29, 2023, has accorded in principle approval for the company to secure environmental clearance for Project Mill Development Plan MDP-4 in company's manufacturing facility in Europe to augment paper capacity from 1,65,000 tons to 2,31,000 tons, pulp capacity from 1,80,000 tons to 2,22,000 tons. Phase 1 of MDP-4 will consist of activities for enhancing the pulp capacity to 2.52 lakh tons in unit Europe, with a marginal increase in paper capacity as well. The enhanced pulping capacity will help the company in replacing costlier purchase pulp, imported pulp, de-inked pulp, etc., and reduce the overall cost of manufacturing per ton of paper unit at Erode, at Tirunelveli, as well as with the Sarvalakshmi unit. The company has filed the necessary applications to the Ministry of Environment and Forest for climate change for environment clearance. Project 4 MDP-4 Phase 1 is expected to be completed in about 30 months' time after securing necessary EC. Indian paper industry 2023 and beyond. As mentioned by me in my speech at the time of last AGM, paper consumption in India is likely to witness 67% annual growth and is expected to reach 30 million tons by the year 26-27, largely driven by emphasis on education and literacy, coupled with growth in organized retail trade. The paper industry holds immense potential for growth in India. As per the per capita consumption globally is one of the lowest. Around 15% of the world population lives in India, but consumes only 5% of total paper produced in the world. Paper industry in this country has undergone a transformation in the last few years. The industry has gone up substantially on the sustainability curve and has become far more technologically advanced than before. The last 5 to 7 years, an amount of over 25,000 crores has been invested in new efficient capacities the induction of clean and green technologies. However, the Indian paper industry has been plagued for many years with challenges on two major accounts. One, raw material, wood availability. Two, increased import of paper at nil duties into India. India's pulp and paper industry has agroforestry roots and strong backward linkages with the farming community, from whom wood is a key raw material is sourced. Of the total demand for wood, over 90% is sourced from the industry-driven agro-farm forestry, rest from government and other sources. India's paper industry is wood positive, that is, it plants more wood trees than it harvests. In India, an estimated 5 lakh farmers are engaged in growing plantations of eucalyptus, suba wood, casuarina, etc. About 1.25 lakh hectares are being brought under agro farm industry on an annual basis, which are around 12 lakh hectares on a cumulative basis across the country. This has generated significant employment opportunities for the local community, especially in the rural areas, apart from increasing the green cover in the country. However, lack of adequate land has been a major constraint in enhancing wood production. The government should consider this long pending appeal of the industry and making available some part of the country's degraded forest land. Our company has on its part expanded its wood sourcing programs with sourcing from nearby states, sourcing of newer varieties of wood, renewed focus on tree farming, as well as contract farming and initiatives. The next major challenge faced by the Indian paper industry is from imported paper. Imports of paper and paperboard in India have jumped 47% from about 7,800 crores to 11,500 crores in financial year 23, according to the latest data issued by the Directorate General of Commercial Intelligence and Statistics. Imports from China have increased by a stupendous 112%, and from ASEAN countries as a whole by about 97% during the year. With the growth in imports has been across all paper grades, the highest jump has been witnessed in the imports of uncoated writing and printing paper at 102%, followed by coated paper and paperboard at 51% and tissue at 41%. The duty-free import of paper into India renders domestic paper non-competitive, thereby endangering the sustainability of the Indian paper industry. Suitable safeguard, anti-dumping and countervailing duties on imports of various grades of paper should be expeditiously imposed. Issue of quality control orders by the government on all grades of paper and making BIS certification mandatory, as has been done for the copier grades, will not only assure supply of quality products to Indian consumers, but also check the import of substandard products into the country. Government is aware of the challenge from duty-free imports. I have been vigorously holding discussions with the industry representatives to find suitable measures to mitigate the negative impact from imports. Amidst the challenges, the company has entered financial year 23-24 with a note of caution, but is well prepared to pursue growth opportunities with focus on augmenting both in-house pulp and paper capacities. ESG. The company's ESG framework and the updates on the initiatives taken by the company on this front are given as Annexure 3 to the board's report. Staying committed to the principles of environmental and social governance, STB always tries to manufacture a paper in a clean, green environment. Our primary fibrous raw materials are obtained through sustainable models, helping the local community. Our processes are energy efficient and clean. Major portion of our energy requirements are addressed with green sources. SPB is committed to a truly sustainable and socially responsible business. The company's ESG roadmap, green initiatives, and targets have been well integrated with the growth strategy of our businesses. Directorate. During the year, Tamil Nadu government withdrew the nomination of Sri K. Rajkumar IFS and in his place nominated Mr. Vito Sidiak IFS, the Special Secretary to Government, Environment and Forest Department, as its nominee on the board of our company. Sri Sidiak IFS was appointed as an additional director on the board in March 23. His appointment as a nominee director, liable to retire by rotation, has been approved and recommended by the board of directors. The same has been included as a special business in the notice of 63rd AGM for consideration and approval by the shareholders of the company. Your directors place on record the valuable services rendered by K. Rajkumar during his tenure. Auditors, Mrs. Maharaj N.R. Suresh and Co. Chartered Accountants were the statutory auditors of the company for the financial year 2022-23. However, the second 5-year tenure of Maharaj N.R. Suresh and Company gets over with the conclusion of this annual general meeting. The board of directors have approved and recommended appointment of Mr. Suri and Co. as the statutory auditors of the company for a period of 5 years from the conclusion of the 63rd AGM until the conclusion of the 68th AGM of the company. Acknowledgement. A wholehearted thanks are due to our shareholders for the sustained support to the company. Shareholder strength has now swelled to 22,000. What was about 19,000 a year ago has now gone up to 22,000. I am extremely grateful to my colleagues on the board for their guidance, support, and wise counsel, which helped us to steer the company safely during challenging times. Executives and employees of all ranks of the company have put in creditable performance, which enabled the company to turn out impressive performance. My thanks are due to all of them. My special word of thanks supporting lift irrigation scheme farmers and the participating farmers in our tree farming program. I am grateful to our stakeholders, customers, inventors, stockists, overseas agents, suppliers, and service providers for their wholehearted support and cooperation. My thanks are equally due to various departments of central and state governments and banks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patient hearing. That concludes my address. I should now move on to Managing Director's presentation. I now request Mr. Kashi Vishwanathan, Managing Director, make a short slide presentation on the performance review for the year 2022-23. Mr. Kashi Vishwanathan.
Good morning, my dear shareholders. Thanks, Chairman, for giving me a chance to make this presentation. Key achievements in the year 2022 and 23 are highest ever production. We made a production of 241,000 tons on the year 22 and 23. Highest ever sales, 2.41 lakh tons. Highest ever total income, it crossed 2,000 crores for the first time to rupees 2113 crores. Highest ever PAT, 386.5 crores. Zero stock, that is, we sell all the products in the godown and we make the godown empty and then create zero stock of finished goods as on 31/3/2023. 22nd time the last 29 years. Even by the first full year of post MDP Mill Development Plan 3, we achieved very good production and capacity utilization in the Erode unit came close to 100%. Benefits of project Mill Development Plan 3, MDP 3, realized in full in Erode unit. Highest annual production unit Tirunelveli, 77,236. Benefits from MDP 3 and favorable market condition helped our company to achieve record profitability in the year 2022 and 23. I'll give a brief update on operations of the company and green initiatives. You see the production. In 2013-14, it was 1,78,272. It moved on gradually. By 2017-18, we were close to 1,90,000. We crossed 22 lakh tons in the year 2018-19, and last year, this year, 22-23 financial year, we crossed 2,41,145. Sales EPC in 2013-14, sales were 1,77,917. And the same production was 2,40,649 as on 31st March 2022-23. Bring an export as a tonnage and export as a percentage. So always around 15% of our production has been exports. We are exporting to many, many countries, including the USA. And you can see a jump in the year 2021-22 in the exports. Pandemic year. That is the year, that is the year we had COVID and pandemic year. We concentrated more on export and less on the domestic, because the domestic market was not all that good. Pricings were very difficult and competitive. We switched over to more export in the year 21-22. That's 27. 2022 and 23, the export was 16% at 38,957. As part of our mill development plant 3, we commissioned what is called white liquor oxidation plant in our unit. It's running extremely well and saves about 5 tons per day of fresh caustic procurement. Similarly, commissioning our new precipitated calcium carbonate plant in partnership with the SMI US to get improved quality of paper and to reduce carbon dioxide emission. This project also has been successfully completed. We have achieved the targets for the project, and it has given good benefits both in quality of paper as well as in CO2 emissions. Next, please. Thanks to higher pulp production, when the pulp production goes up, our biomass generation from the pulping, namely black liquor, will also increase. Our green steam production increased by 20% over the previous year due to increase in those. Improvement in green power generation is 24%. When you get more black liquor and more solids, we burn it in the boiler as a biomass. Biomass gives more steam and reduce the coal, and we produce more green steam. Therefore, green steam gives you more green power. Green power generation increased by 24% over the previous year. A good production always gives you good specific consumption numbers. Reduction in specific steam, reduction in specific power are the results of our MDP3. Nearly 70% of the energy requirement of the company in Erode, being integrated pulp and paper mill, is met through non-fossil fuel in Erode. Please. Some more updates for you. To augment the wood sourcing and tie up with farmers directly, company has launched a contract farming program in the year 2022 and 23, in addition to the existing tree farming program. The contract farming helps you go directly to the farmer, give him a kind of an agreement where you get, when the wood is ready, the company assures a definite procurement from him, either at the market price or the price specified in the contract, whichever is higher. So contractor need not worry about his pricing, he gives a good price, and also assured income, assured procurement by the company. 22,502 acres of land been covered in a tree planting program. Company remains wood positive, meaning we produce more wood than what we consume, and also carbon positive. Next, please. Company continues to be certified under Forest Stewardship Council certification. It ensures clean procurement of wood and avoiding, more specifically, the forest areas. Both the units of the company have achieved targets under the PAT cycle. We have exceeded the PAT requirements as prescribed by the government of India. Therefore, we are now eligible for procuring e-certs in the market. Company continues to be accredited with the Star Export House status. Next. Notable awards received during the year 2022-23. They are, next please. The Indian Paper Manufacturers Association Paper Mill of the Year, meaning the Paper Mill of the Year means recognizes the Indian paper mill that sets an example in the areas of productivity, quality, human resources, research and development, and developing export markets in the paper industry. So you can see me, myself, and our chairman received the award from Chairman J.K. Paper Mill. Next, please, very prestigious award. Another award by Indian Paper Manufacturers Association on Energy Conservation for the year 2021-22, awarded to our company. IPM Energy Conservation Award recognizes the efforts of the Indian paper mills to become more energy efficient, employing a range of innovation and technologies. In the corporate presentation, showed a lot of awards for the paper industry for our company by CII and also government of India. Next, please. This is an award on the third consecutive National Energy Leader and fifth consecutive Excellence in Energy Management by CII. You can see our director operator receiving the awards. Next, please. CII ASR AHS Excellence Award was given for the year 2022. You can see our safety engineers on both extreme or both safety engineers receiving the award from CII executives. Next, please. Financial performance, the 10 years at a glance. Next, please. As you can see, the income during the year 2013-14 was 1,070 crores. We reached 1,300 crores in the year 2018-19, and this year we jumped to 2,113 crores. First time we crossed 2,000 crores in the year 2022-23. A good market, good production from our MDP3 project helped us to get a very good total income. Next, please. EBITDA and as a rupees in crores and on total income, percentage total income. As you can see, the highest we got the EBITDA in the year 2022-23, a clear jump of 182 crores to 560 crores. But even if you take 2018-19, it is 319 crores to today's 565 crores. 26.7% on the total income. Thanks to good market, and I said thanks to our good production and operation in the post MDP3. Next, please. The improved profitability during the year 22-23. Epitome team. Can you give me?
We cannot hear MD, sir. Sir, please continue.
Mainly due to Okay. Hey, volume the improved performance of our pulp mill and recovery operations. Next, please. Same way, the PBT, if you see in crores, what was 41 and 25 crores in 2013-14 or 14-15, it jumped to 271 crores in 18-19, and there was a fall, and COVID also is the reason for this downfall. 2022-23 financial year, we made a PBT of 516 crores, which is a record for our company. And as a percentage, if you see, our maximum highest percentage was 20.5 in the year 2019-20. Now it is 24.4%. Overall, a very good performance of both financial and physical performance. Next, please. PAT, if you see, maybe slide, sir. PAT. PAT, if you see, we achieved highest PAT 2019-20, 14.4%. Of course, gradually dropped 7.5 due to COVID and jumped to 18.3% at 387 crores. Next, please. Net worth of the company, 384 in 2013-14, gradually increased and reached 1,206 crores in the year 2011-12 and jumped to 1,576 crores in the year 2022-23 financial year. Please. Even percentage on our share capital, we declared 40% in the year 2013-14, gradually went up to 200% in 18-19 and 19-20. Of course, unfortunately dropped to 125% because of the COVID season, COVID issues. Now again, it jumped to 300%, the highest ever event declaration on share capital. Next, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Percy. I will now request Mr. Srinivas, our CFO, to provide a summary of the auditor's report.
The statutory auditor's report on standalone financial statements and the consolidated financial statements are available in page numbers 147, 149 and 227 of the annual report respectively. Secretarial audit report is enclosed as Annexure 8 to the board's report on page number 142 of the annual report. The statutory auditors, Maharaj N.R. Suresh & Co. LLP and Secretarial Auditor B. Ravi and Associates have expressed unqualified opinion in their respective audit reports for the financial year 2022-23. There are no qualifications, observations, or adverse comments on the financial statements and matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, with the business of the AGM, as the notice is already circulated to all the members, I take the notice convening the meeting as read. Before we proceed, I am pleased to bring to your notice that as required under the Companies Act 2013, the company had provided you all the facility to cast your vote electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. The period of remote e-voting has concluded by 5 p.m. yesterday. Members who have not cast their vote electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes through e-voting system provided by NSDL. Members may please note that there will be no voting by show of hands. We now will take up the 7 resolutions as set forth in the notice. We will open the floor for any questions by members after all the resolutions are tabled. Item number 1 of the notice is adoption of the financial statements. The financial statements of the company, including the consolidated financial statements for the financial year ended March 31, 2023, including the reports of the Board of Directors and the auditors, have already been provided to the members. Item number 2 of the notice is declaration of dividend. The Board of Directors has recommended payment of dividend of ₹6 per equity share on face value of 2 each for the financial year 2023. Item number 3 is reappointment of Sri Ganesh Patti, Chairman retiring by rotation in the meeting as director by an ordinary resolution. Item number 4 is to appoint Messrs. Suri and Company Chartered Accountants as statutory auditors of the company for a period of 5 years from the conclusion of this 63rd AGM until the conclusion of 68th AGM. Messrs. Suri and Co. is a reputed firm with extensive experience in handling audits since the year 1939. The company has received written consent to the required certificates of the proposed auditors with this appointment. Item number 5 of the notice, appointment of Sri Rito Siriak, IFS Special Secretary as a nominee director on the board of the company. Item number 6 is payment of remuneration to non-full-time directors. And item number 7 is remuneration to cost director for financial year 23-24. The text of the resolutions, along with the explanatory statement, is provided in the notice circulated to the members. Members who have not cast their vote through remote e-voting may cast their votes now through the e-voting system provided by NSDL. The platform is already open to the shareholders to cast their vote. We have received requests from 3 shareholders to be speaker shareholders. I will now call out their names one by one. The speaker shareholders are requested to restrict their queries to the accounts for the financial year 22-23 and confine their observations briefly. I need your cooperation. Before we go live with the Q&A, here are some points to note for your convenience. Kindly turn on your video when you are projected on the broadcast screen. Kindly unmute yourself and proceed to ask the question. Please mention your name and the location from which where you are calling. Now I am opening the floor for Q&A. I request Mr. Saket Kapoor, speaker shareholder number 1, to unmute himself and kindly proceed with his queries. Mr. Kapoor, please.
Hello.
He's there, he has to switch on the video.
Yeah, namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, and yeah.
You can hear.
Mr. Kapoor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for Thank you for this opportunity, sir. Sir, I'm audible.
Yes, I am audible, but you can raise your voice also. That will help.
Thank you. Yeah, sir. I'll do that, sir.
Thank
So
you.
firstly,
Now
sir,
it's okay.
Yeah, sir. Firstly, sir, congratulations to the team, sir, for paying attention, paying heed to the interest of the investors, and holding the AGM before the conclusion of the first quarter of the next financial year. So indeed, sir, we are leaping back. I think so. We used to do it in the month of July, and now we are 1 month preceding that also. And before even the quarter end, we are done with our AGM and definitely the distribution of dividend and all those stuff. So congratulations to the team, the secretarial department, to the board of directors for doing the needful, and we hope for the continuity of the same. It sets a benchmark for the investing community, sir. Thank you firstly for this. So now coming to the points, sir. First, my observation, sir. I truly find that there is a procedure by in which this AGM has been conducted. Now this is I think so the 4th virtual AGM done by the company for the last from 2020. So we investors sitting in Kolkata, I'm from Kolkata, can have the benefit of interaction with the esteemed team live on a live basis. So even post this COVID regulations being off, I would request to continue with the hybrid mode. So that would be providing us an opportunity to interact with you. So I hope my message would be delivered. Firstly, on that front, sir, and secondly, it is always good, sir, to come across and meet. So would definitely like to be there also. So it's a both side story. And sir, you are also always holding AGM on Saturdays. That is also a very pleasant act, I would say, for investors also, because Saturday being an off day provides good participation from our end also. So again, sir, congratulations for continuously holding AGM on Saturday. Not only for Seshasayee, but I think so high energy batteries will also be holding it on a Saturday itself. So this is a very good practice. I must congratulate you, sir. Coming to the business point, sir. Firstly, sir, as our MD presented us with this investor presentation, I would request the team that if this investor presentation be uploaded at the time of our annual results, so that we investors would have got more need to go through the presentation earlier, since this would have been prepared much earlier, and we would have raised our queries on the basis of it much before, had this been made uploaded to the exchanges earlier. So would request to have these presentations either on 6 months or an annual basis at least, so that we get an idea. Yeah. So, hello.
Yes, we are
Yes,
able to hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I got
Please go
interrupted, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. So this was my first understanding, and sir, as earlier also you yourself mentioned that from a investor base of 19,000 now to 22,000, the base has grown. So would again request that paper being a cyclical industry, there are only a different set of investors set for all types of businesses. So for the benefit of your investing community, if we could come up with investor presentation, press releases, also being a part, sir, I congratulate you again on this chairman's statement that earlier we used to get from post, and now on the email just after the numbers. So that is also very conducive for us to get first-hand experience. But would request you to give more specification in your releases, which comes post the quarterly numbers, to give us some more input, sir. Those who are interested will definitely go through them. And all these investor conferences, the annual report, other than the statutory part, these are meant for people who are interested in the same. And I, being an interested party, is requesting what else can be done in continuous to what has been done by the team as on date. So would request you to look into it, sir. Your peers are doing it. It is not that we have to do things what peers do, but whatever is conducive and is important for investors, and it's a good practice, must be followed, sir. This is my humble suggestion to the team. Sir, now in your note to us, you mentioned 3 points, sir, on the which led to the profitability. I just read it out. The improved net sales realization from both the domestic and the export market, higher volume of production and sales, and improved performance of pulp mill and recovery operations. So how are these factors aligned for the current year in terms of firstly, if you could give us some color, sir. It becomes inevitable that in a cyclical industry, it won't be easy for our company also to repeat what performance we have done last year, since market conditions are not going to remain the same. They are not even. They will go up and down. But if you could give us some colors on the factors that would contribute to the spreads and the margins going ahead. I think so, sir. Major raw material, coal, which have created a lot of hazards for all industries, have now cooled down, and the coal prices are back to pre-COVID levels also, even much lower than that. So how are those factors going to impact the margins, sir? If you could give us some color on the same, that would be really helpful. And on these 3 factors also, sir, how are these 3 factors are going to play their role for the current years? And on the capex front, sir, you did mention about our NCLT acquisition, and now the earlier promoters moving to NCLALT for their objections. So how much have we spent currently? What have been the bid, the amount we have bid for the mill, and what is the proposed capex that we will be going ahead to streamline the operations? And especially for MDP 4 also, the Mill Development Program 4, what have we aligned in terms of the capex? How is that money going to be spent? If you could give us the understanding of the same. Our MD sir did mention about this white liquor and PCC capex. how much, sir, have we exactly spent on these two aspects, sir? Are these very minor capex, and these will only bring operational efficiencies? That is what was alluded to in the presentation. If you could delve more on the same. And other than that, sir, one more request from my side. Post the numbers, I have tried over a period of last year itself, contacting our CFO and just laying down whatever is there in the public domain, putting up a few questions. But somehow, because of the paucity of time or because of his busy schedule, he has been unable to reply over phone and has requested for email conversation. Sir, what I found that email conversation does not result in a one-on-one interaction, which leads to more information being exchanged. However, email is subjective and is limited to 2 or 3 points. However, I do respect the regulatory framework. But this is only my request that investors should be provided with an opportunity to interact with the management on whichever forum which is open to all investors. Whoever are interested may participate. And also, sir, I would love to come down and have a plant visit. So, what's the procedure? How can one go ahead with the same? And other than that, sir, what other steps are in the annual to improve shareholder valuation, sir? Market has definitely valued our company, but not up to the mark because it is taking into account the vagaries of the cyclical nature of the business, sir. So if you could throw some more light, what steps are you taking to improve the valuation on the valuation front also? Last year, sir, you did spoke about high energy battery also. I think so. The AGM would be scheduled next year, but if you could give us some more color on how that part of the business is also shaping up, that would be helpful. And that these are the points, sir. If you could give us color on the same. And sir, if I have a follow-up, sir, since only 3 speakers are there, so I would request the moderator to allow me to keep my camera open. So if there is a follow-up point from my side, a very brief point, I would be raising my hand. And if with the permission of the chair, allow me to answer if feasible and possible.
Thank you
once again, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ankit Kapoor. I have noted some points. I'll get back to you at the end of the queries by various other shareholders. We have only 2 more shareholders. Let me hear them also. Then we'll get back to you and then answer your queries. Second shareholder is Mr. Santosh Kumar. Santosh Kumar Saraf. I think another Kolkata man, I think. Mr. Saraf. Mr. Saraf, are you there? How are you?
Just a minute, I start my video. The moderator, allow me.
How are you?
Sir, fine. How are you?
I am okay. As I see you.
Sir, this is first meeting in this year.
Yes.
And 2 other meeting will be held something in 1
Yes.
month time.
For you, I think I have advanced all the meetings, Mr. Saraf.
Very good, sir, for you thinking about me. This is very good, and I think so very good. Sir, how is your health? Good health?
I'm in good health.
And your family, sir?
Pardon? Family, I think everybody is fine.
Okay, sir. And I hope all our my staff,
Everybody's
staff and manager and trainer are good health.
My managers, my staff, everybody is doing well.
Sir, in your presentation, you explained so many things. And Mr. Saket Kapoor asked so many questions, so many questions to you. So I have nothing. I want to give you thanks, sir. Thanks, reason is that you paid highest dividend, lifetime dividend of rupees 60, sir.
Yes.
This is sir, highest dividend, and this dividend is just a minute, sir. And last year we gave only 2.5 and 50 paisa, but this year to give 6 rupees, sir. Thank you, and your performance is very good. I see your highlight from the last 10 years. Every year including the sales and including the dividends, sir. So I thank you and your team, sir. Also thanks to you and your team because there is so many awards you received. So this is the only hard works of our team. So we get so many awards and rewards. Sir, I have nothing to ask you so many questions. I will only attend the meeting to see you in the good health, sir. Next meeting will be Pony Sugar or High Energy, sir. We meet once again, sir. And sir, at last, I think video conference is very nice. You got video conference. I attending this meeting from Kolkata. Otherwise, not possible with me to go your place and attend the meeting. So I hope and I request to Government of India allow always for video conference meeting. If physical meeting plus video conference is very good, so local person can be attend also, sir.
Yes.
At last, sir, I once again hope and wish to all our directors, all our manager staff, and all our employees, and all our shareholders for good health and their family, sir. Thank you, sir. Now you want to say something, sir? You asked me how many meetings I attended last year, sir.
Yes. Same question. Same question.
So, sir, I will make it counting for you. I attended 391 meetings last year, sir.
Yeah, imagine.
391.
This should be some Guinness record.
Sir, I am not a Guinness record. Many sold at so many meetings, but I have interest in meeting to attend, sir, and see chairman in good health and also company in good, sir. This is my habit. This is my hobby, sir. You can be think about anything, sir. You can be think about my mania and also anything, sir. But when I in the home, what can I do, sir? No work because my age is 75 years, sir. I am retired long. So this is my work and this is my hobby, sir. So attend the meeting. Today I already attend the meeting of UCO Bank. This is second meeting I attending today,
UCO
sir.
Bank.
UCO Bank already attend, I speak. And now today, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving the opportunity. Once again, I wish for good health for all our teams, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saraf. I will now move to the third shareholder, Mr. Ramasundaram. Ramasundaram, are you on the line? Where are you? Ramasundaram.
வணக்கம்.
ராமசுந்தரம் பேசே தெரியலையா ராமசுந்தரம்?
சார் வணக்கம் சார். கேக்குதுங்களா?
வணக்கம். உன்னோட இதுவே தெரியலையா? பேசே தெரியலையா ராமசுந்தரம்? வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணுங்க.
வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
வீடியோ தெரியலையாப்பா?
வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
ஓகே, பரவாயில்ல. தெரியல. உனக்கு என்ன கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ராமசுந்தரம்?
சார், இந்த 63வது ஆண்டு மகாசபை கூட்டத்துக்கு கலந்திருக்கிற வீடியோ கான்பரன்சிங் மூலமா கலந்துகிட்டு இருக்கிற அத்தனை பேர்த்துக்கும் ஒரு நன்றி கலந்த வணக்கத்தையும் பாராட்டையும் சொல்லிக்கொண்டு, கேக்குதுங்களா?
கேக்குது, நல்லா கேக்குறது ராமசுந்தரம்.
ரைட்டுங்க. இப்போ அதுல முதல் முறையா சொல்லக்கூடிய விஷயம் என்னன்னா, கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 300% டிவிடன் அறிவிச்சிருக்கீங்க. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு.
ஓகே.
ஆனா அதே சமயத்துல 2018-19 கிட்டத்தட்ட 190 கோடி ரூபாய் நெட் ப்ராஃபிட் எடுத்து 200% டிவிடன் கொடுத்திருக்கும் போது, நீங்க இந்த வருஷம் ஒரு 400% டிவிடன் கொடுத்திருக்கிறதுக்கான வாய்ப்பு இருக்குங்கிறது என்னோட தாழ்மையான கருத்து.
ஓகே.
அதே போல இன்டீரியம் டிவிடன் சொல்லிட்டு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, இன்னைக்கு இந்தியாவில் ஐடிசி எல்லாம் 600% டிவிடன், வேதாந்தா 1850% டிவிடன், இந்த மாதிரி பல்வேறு கம்பெனிகள், HCL எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா 900% டிவிடன், இந்துஸ்தான் ஜிங்க்கு 1300% டிவிடன், இப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ணியிருக்கு. அதனால நீங்க இது கூட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பரிசீலனை பண்ணியிருக்கலாங்கிறது என்னோட ஒரு கருத்து. அடுத்த போல போன வருஷத்தை விட இந்த வருஷம் எக்ஸ்போர்ட் குறைஞ்சிருக்கு. கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 20,000 டன்னுக்கு பக்கமா குறைஞ்சிருக்கு. அதுக்கு என்ன காரணங்கிறத ஒரு பதில் சொன்னீங்கன்னா ஒரு சந்தோஷமா இருக்கும்.
ஓகே.
அதே போல இன்னைக்கு மில்லு டெவலப்மெண்ட் பிளான்ங்கிற அடிப்படையில் நிறைய விவரங்களை சொன்னார் டைரக்டர் இவர் நம்ம சாரு எம்டி சாரு நிறைய விவரங்களை சொன்னார். இருக்கிற சர்டிஃபிகேட் எல்லாமே உலகத்தில் இருக்கிற சர்டிஃபிகேட் எல்லாம் வாங்கியிருப்பீங்க போல் இருக்கு. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். ஆனால் அதே சமயத்தில் இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற சிச்சுவேஷன் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஃபில்டர் கேக்கெல்லாம் மில்லும் ஆலைக்குள்ளேயே கொட்டி கிடக்குது. நான் வேபரிஜில் இருக்கும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட அந்த காலத்தில் மட்டும் ஒரு ஒரு 1 இயர் 2 வருஷத்துக்கு மட்டும்தான் அந்த சுண்ணாம்பு வேஸ்ட் சுண்ணாம்பெல்லாம் கொண்டாந்து காலனி ஆளில் கொட்டினாங்க. இப்போ மறுபடியும் இத்தனை வருஷம் பிற்பாடு ஃப்ளை ஆஷு இந்த வேஸ்ட்டு சுண்ணாம்பெல்லாம் கொண்டாந்து ரோட்டு பேரில் முன்னாடியே யார்டில் கொட்டுறதுனால கொஞ்சம் நம்மளோட இதில் வந்து கவனத்தை திருப்ப வேண்டியது சரியாக இருக்குன்னு என்னோட எண்ணம். ஏன்னா பெரும்பாலான ரோட்டில் போகிறவங்க வர்றவங்க பூரா எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் சத்தம் போட்டுக்கிட்டு தான் போயிட்டு இருக்காங்க காலனி ஆடுகிட்ட.
ஓகே,
இந்த ஒரு ஒன்றுங்க. அதே மாதிரி இடிபி பல்பு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அன்னைக்கெல்லாம் டெபாசிட் 50,000 60,000 சின்ன சின்ன கம்பெனிகிட்டெல்லாம் 60,000 50,000 டெபாசிட் வாங்கி வித்துக்கிட்டு இருந்த சூழ்நிலையில இன்னைக்கு ஃபில்டர் கேக் வந்து எல்லாம் மில்லுக்குள்ளேயே கொட்ட வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலையா இருக்குது, கொட்டிக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறதா கேள்விப்படுறேன்.
ஓகே,
அதனால இது வந்து ஒரு செலவுக்கு பதிலாக 2 செலவு கூடுதல். அதனால இந்த கூடுதல் செலவுகளை தவிர்த்து அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரியான அதிகாரிகளை பண்ணி சிறப்பான முறையில் செயல்பட்டால் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்குங்கிறது என்னோட கருத்து. ஏன்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட நீங்கள் 3,000 ரூபாய்க்கு விற்றப்பெல்லாம் விற்றுட்டு இன்னைக்கு 2,000 ரூபாய்க்கு 1,000 ரூபாய்க்கு பக்கமாக டன்னுக்கு குறைச்சிருக்கிறதா ஒரு தகவல் கிடைச்சிருக்கு. அப்படி 1,000 ரூபா குறைச்ச பிற்பாடும் நீங்கள் வந்து பேப்பர் அந்த ஃபில்டர் கேக்கு விற்க முடியாமல் வந்து ஆலைக்குள்ளே கொட்டுறது எப்படி சரியாக இருக்கும்? அப்போ அதுக்கு தகுந்த அதிகாரிகளை நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் ஃபோர்ஸ் பண்ணுனா சரியாக இருக்குங்கிறது என்னோட தாழ்மையான எண்ணம்.
ஓகே.
அதே மாதிரி இந்த ஏஜிஎம் மீட்டிங் இதில் பேசுறது ரொம்ப எனக்கு சரியா வரலங்க. எனக்கு ரொம்ப நேரமாக ட்ரை பண்ணி பாருங்களேன், இப்போ கூட என்னோட இது வரவே இல்லை வீடியோ. அது பரவாயில்ல, அதனால ஒன்றும் தப்பு இல்லை. நான் பேசுறது உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சா போதும். இப்போ இந்த ஏஜிஎம் மீட்டிங்கு தாராளமாக நீங்கள் கவர்மெண்ட்லேயே அறிவிச்சிட்டாங்க, இந்த கொரோனா பீரியட் எல்லாம் தாண்டி போயிருச்சுன்னு சொல்லிவிட்டு நீங்கள் தாராளமாக இங்கே போட்டிருந்துருக்கலாமே காலனிலேயே அப்படிங்கிறது என்னோட இன்னொரு கருத்து. அதே மாதிரி இந்த தொழிலாளி பூரா நல்லா இருந்தால் நிர்வாகம் நல்லா இருக்கும். அந்த அடிப்படையில் இந்த தொழிலாளிகளுக்கு சம்பள உயர்வுங்கிறது ஏற்கனவே செட்டில்மெண்ட் போட்டாச்சு. போட்ட பிற்பாடு நான் அது சம்மந்தமாக பேச முடியாது. இருந்தாலும் இந்த கான்ட்ராக்ட் தொழிலாளி ஒரு 12 மணி நேரம் வேலை, அதே மாதிரி செக்யூரிட்டி எல்லாம் முதல்ல நம்ம கண்ட்ரோலில் இருந்து 8 மணி நேரம் வேலை கொடுத்தாங்க. 12 மணி நேரம் வேலை கொடுக்குறது கொஞ்சம் எனக்கு ஏதோ மனசை உறுத்துது. அது வேற வழியில் ஒன்றும் நான் பேசுறதுக்கான வாய்ப்புகள் இல்லை. அதனால இதை கொஞ்சம் தயவு கூர்ந்து பாருங்க. எல்லாத்துக்கும் 8 மணி நேரம் வேலை கொடுங்க. இந்தியா பூராவும் 8 மணி நேரம் வேலை. சில மாநிலங்கள்ல வந்து 12 மணி நேரம் வேலைங்கிறது இருந்தாலுமே கூட அது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு அது வந்து சரிப்பட்ட
ராமசுந்தரம் என்ன கட் ஆயிடுதா? பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஒண்ணா சொல்லணும். அப்படியே
fluctuation in speaker.
Okay. I think we have lost. I think we have lost Ramasundaram, and let me get back to the queries raised by Mr. Saket Kapoor. I think his first observation was thank you for your favorable observations on our response to some of the suggestions made by the shareholders, and we have advanced our board meeting, our AGM, etc. And I will also definitely consider your request for a hybrid mode next year, so that we stay in touch. And I think our meetings also, I think, will be held, continue to be held on Saturday to facilitate all investors also to attend. On the business side, I think your first query was on the NSR as well as on the cost push for the current year. I think last year I would consider as a one-off year. It's very difficult for paper mill to get one more year, that too on a consecutive basis. This is my view. But as of now, I think if you look at the first quarter, our NSR has remained somewhat marginally lower, but not by much. And as far as export prices have come down, international prices of paper and prices on pulp has come down. As you mentioned yourself, coal prices are coming down. All this will definitely have an impact on selling prices as well. But most of these reduction in costs are being offset by huge cost increase in wood. Wood throughout India has remained, access to wood has remained an issue so far, and prices are going up on a continuous basis, on a week-to-week basis. Therefore, costs at the end of the day may not really, variable cost for the matter may not come down as much as what we thought it would happen at the beginning of the year. Market should react to, as I mentioned in my speech, one of the great concerns for all of us in the industry is the huge imports taking place from China and ASEAN countries, especially in the printing and writing grade sector. This will definitely have, this already has impacted both the offtake from domestic mills as well as the prices of these products. If this continues, this will definitely impact negatively the margins of domestic mills this year. We have discussed this subject on a couple of occasions with the government. They are really serious about it, and they are also trying to see how to combat this. Hopefully, some solution will emerge in the months to come. Then only I think some of the domestic industries, there is demand. Domestic demand has not come down, but this demand is now being met by somewhat lower priced imports as against to be met by domestic manufacturers. On the one hand, government says we want to encourage domestic manufacture. On the other hand, by their FTAs, they have allowed a lot of these imports to take place at zero duty. That is our main problem for the paper industry for this year. But to some extent, I think this also will affect the margins and therefore the ultimate profit of the paper industry. By and large, on the printing and writing paper side, we have sailed through fairly well in the first quarter, but it is not so for some of the craft, it is brown grades, as well as some of the coated boards. Both these segments have somewhat suffered in the Q1, and I think both in terms of volume as well as in terms of prices, they have been somewhat hit. Luckily, our mill has been mostly in printing and siding equipment. Therefore, we are sailed through without undue reduction. That is all I could say as of now. Then your next question was on the Sarva Lakshmi CapEx bid. Sarva Lakshmi approved. Sarva Lakshmi is a mill which has been remaining closed for more than 5 years. And it also has some equipment missing. There has been some loss of some electrical cables, electrical copper, etc., etc. All these things will have to be attended to. Taking all these into account, we have been very careful in the amount that we quoted, and then we pitched for about 105 crores is the amount that we paid, as you wanted to know, on the auction. But we may have to spend much more to get it up to making about 75,000 tons of quality papers. This will take a little bit of time, but also a little bit of more money than So it's not going to remain in 105 crores. It will be at least at the order of about totally about 250 crores, I think I would think. We ourselves have commenced our inspection only now of what is available, what is to be repaired, what is to be renewed, what is to be upgraded. I think these discussions are now taking place at ourselves. Therefore, we don't have an accurate number for you. It will take several months before we really assess the country, the status, and what is required to be done. But I'm sure that at the end of the day, we'll be able to come up with a good project. We have a lot of experience in this field, both in operation as well as in engineering. All this will, I think, help us to come up with a good project which will become profitable without undue time delay. Now you have also asked about
MDP4. How is the money?
MDP4.
How is the money going?
I think the project of MDP4, our idea is that we should fund all these projects through internal resources. Stop at that.
Yes, continue.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Kapoor?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Mr. Kapoor, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am here, sir. You can hear me now, sir?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes, saying yes.
I'm not able to hear it. Anyway.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Can I continue?
Please, sir. Last point you come so for MDP, sir, you please mention the figure again.
Okay.
How much we need to spend for
We seem to have
MDP?
some local issues and we have lost. But yeah. Therefore, Mr. Kapoor, I think as far as this MDP4 is concerned, I think our idea is to fund it entirely out of internal resources. Our phase one will consist of augmenting our pulp production. We're augmenting pulp production mainly for two things. One is to really supplement the domestic pulp to be used in our Tirunelveli Unit 1. It will also help me to really use that pulp in our Sarvalakshmi unit as and when it commences production. This will help me to really reduce or minimize or eliminate imported pulp, and therefore will give me a cost advantage. And within this Erode unit, this gives me an opportunity to increase my green fuel. That is, when I make more pulp, I also make more biofuel, which means that I'm also able to get some green energy out of it. Therefore, it's a very, what I would call, highly synergy-based project that I am now trying to involve all the three mills, namely our Erode, our Tirunelveli unit, and Sarvalakshmi. Simultaneously, I think I also would like to make use of the TIP plant that is there in these units and then supplement my pulp requirement at Erode, so that I now really want, as I said, bring in a lot of energy synergy between these three units with a view to maximize production of paper as well as reduce cost of pulp for each of these units. I am sure that this will work. It will take some time for it to materialize, for the GDP, MDP4 to materialize because we are in Erode. We have to first get the EC, then we have to really implement this project. That may take a bit of a time. Otherwise, as and when implemented, I think it will help the company as a whole. This is our concept of it. And what is the next question?
PCC plant, white liquor oxidation is a small operation.
PCC plant that we have put up is in collaboration with an American company called Seshasayee. Plant has been put up by them, and they have to operate, and they have to give this PCC at an agreed contracted rate. We, on our part, we have spent about a crore and a half or so for our civil engineering works. That has been our responsibility. So our cost for this project, our investment for this project is about 1.5 crores. This white liquor oxidation plant is again another a small investment of less than about 2 crores, and it has been done 100% by us, and it has been working very well, contributing to some cost reduction. What is the next one?
He was having a thing that he wanted his questions to be answered by phone and then asking for his.
I will ask my CFO to be forthcoming and then answer your queries on phone as much as possible. But then there are some, as you know,
SEBI regulations.
There are some SEBI regulations, and obviously CFO being CFO is a bit worried about transgressing this. That's the reason why he is not very comfortable in talking to you on phone. And when you talk to on phone, you ask many supplementaries also, and it's very difficult to answer them. At the same time, it is very difficult to not to answer. That is the reason why he has been asking you to come on the email. Okay, but nevertheless, I think you understand more than me. I mean, I am not a regular market man, but I think you understand the difficulties in carrying on a conversation. Because one thing leads to another, you keep various things. He has to make a judgment as to what he can say, what he cannot say. That is why he wants you to come on the email. Okay. Is there anything else that I have to answer you, Mr.
Plant visit request.
A plant visit, you are always welcome anytime. Okay. You just contact our CFO, and whenever it is convenient to you, you can visit.
Sir, on the biofuel front, what did you mention? I missed your statement. On the biofuel front, you mentioned something about the biofuel and the synergies, the green fuel.
Yes. When we increase under MDP3 also, we have increased our pulp. When we increased our pulp, this pulp is made out of wood or bagasse. We have an organic residue called black liquor. This black liquor is again concentrated and then fired as a fuel in our chemical recovery boiler, where we recover the chemicals and make use of the heat that is available in this black liquor. That heat is helping us to make steam, and from steam we make power. Therefore, that power becomes a green power and comes to you as a minimal cost. Therefore, the overall power, in an integrated mill, it has got the advantage of this black liquor also available to you as a fuel and then for raising steam as well as for raising power in your cogeneration plant. That way that we are able to step up. When you step up pulp, you also get some nearly free power available to you. That is what I think our MD has mentioned in his presentation. This will happen when we step up pulp production in our MDP4 also. That's what I also mentioned briefly about a few minutes ago. And then we also now are working on our power boiler where we use coal, a fossil fuel. We have now started adding biofuel. This is as a practice we started originally to under our green initiatives, and also to some extent see whether it can mitigate a higher cost of coal. Biofuel doesn't mean that we have been able to substitute coal to the extent of about nearly 25% through our biofuel. Overall, I think therefore about nearly 70 to 75% of the energy that we produce in our erode unit comes from biomaterial. For 20-25% alone, we have to depend on coal. That is the current position. Anything else?
Sir, last point. I missed your last point, sir, because of the sound mismatch. 25% dependence is there or 75%, sir?
75% is green. 25% is fossil. 25% is fossil.
Sir, 75% is all the baggage part that gets converted. By biofuel, you mean the baggage energy only, not the ethanol part.
No, because this biofuel is items like paddy husk, item like wood chips, item like sawdust, item like they are not our raw material. This is something that we buy from the market and use it in our in admixture with coal. Therefore, we save on use of coal.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, on the investor presentation and sir conference call, sir, do we envisage going ahead with that, sir, to educate your investors and also to create the awareness, sir, in the investing community?
But Kapoor, I think you just see my quarterly newsletters.
Okay,
I
sir.
give you all the details. I give you all my production, all my sales, everything that I do, I am giving. Over and above that, by conference, I do not know what I am going to talk about. Therefore, anyway, I will discuss this with my people and then see. Okay.
Okay. Sir, thank you for all the elaborate answers, sir. And you did mention to the point that there is pressure on margins because of the unabated import from China. This is what we at the industry and the company also is experiencing currently. So there will be a compression in margin for this quarter, sir.
It will vary from company to company.
Okay. What should be our status, sir?
Okay.
Currently?
Quarter one, I think we have escaped. We may not be able to. The quarter one, I may not suffer much, but I do not know about Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay. If you be in touch with us, I will tell you.
Right, sir. So Q1 would be in line with Q4, sir. This is what we can expect.
Q1, I am not supposed to give you all these answers. I will be put out, which you know very well. You are now putting me into trouble.
No, sir, I won't do that.
Okay.
No, sir.
Take care.
Never intend to do that, sir. Thank you. It is not my intention.
Take care and have a good day.
Same to you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
No, I have only one other thing. Yeah.
This is.
Mr. Ramasundaram has raised some questions. He's talking about some filter cake and ETP and see the market for all. These are all dependent on this ETP cake is being made use of to make some paper boards for of low cost. I think some of these markets have come down, especially in the drastically. So some of the manufacturers, they have closed shops and the demand has fallen. That is the reason why we have to reduce price. But even at reduced price, we have not been able to find buyers. Therefore, I think that is what I think he has been mentioning. And he says export less. We have exported less mainly to take advantage of a good domestic market, prices, etc. Therefore, we always don't have a fixed export targets. All we want to say is that we would like to be in the export market, but then how much we export will depend on what is the relative prices, relative margins available in both the export and domestic markets. This is the point that I want to tell him. Dividend. He says 300% is not adequate and 400% I should have given. I can give 5% or 9% also. I have a lot of capital pending lined up and I am trying to finance them through my own internal resources. I think 300% is considered good by many shareholders, except Ramasundaram. We have only one more shareholder, Mr. Vaibhav Bhajatia. He has sent queries by mail saying that I have been attending AGMs of the company. I will not be able to attend this year. Therefore, I am sending this question. Kindly read my answers. Kindly answer them in the AGM so that I can read my answers from the transcript at a later date. His first question is, do you see any potential impact from water availability? Fortunately for the company, a hydroelectric project had come up in the last 10 years downstream. This means that the river adjoining our mill becomes a storage area for the power plant. And this ensures water storage at all points of time in the river from the mill. And hence we have not faced any paucity of water. Since nearly, I think the last time we faced paucity of water affecting a small amount of production was in the year 2003. The last 20 years, we have not faced any. But paucity of water is a risk for any paper mill. In our case, I think it's a very remote risk. We're also taking steps to see how to reduce water consumption in our process. Paper industry used to consume about 70 meter cube per ton of paper, 80 meter cube per ton of paper at some point of time. They've all been progressively brought down through a lot of internal measures, a lot of internal recycling, reuse, reduce, these concepts. We are, for example, we are now consuming about 40 meter cube per ton of paper at Erode. Being an integrated mill, meaning we also have to make pulp. The same, not this water consumption is only about 10 meter cube per ton of paper in our Tirunelveli plant, where only paper machine is on operation. We are again taking steps to see how to reduce this 40 meter cube to say 35 or so. We'll work on it. And as I said, at the moment, I do not see any huge risk from paucity of water. The second question that he has asked is relative competitiveness of company improved significantly over last year due to sharp increase in global pulp prices since we have in-house farm policy program. Given the sharp decline in global, do you see change in relative competitiveness of the world? I think the competitiveness is not only for our company. When prices go up and come down, this competitiveness affects every industry in India as well as every industry in Czech. Therefore, relative competitiveness does not get affected by these changes. What really gets affected is the margins, and this may perhaps mute margins, but does not take away my competitiveness. Indian printing and writing paper companies benefited significantly over the last 2 years due to increased competitiveness in exports, due to relative freight-related changes and global disruptions. This led to more pricing power given stagnant capacity due to COVID. However, there are now signs of slowdown in export demand, and many companies have announced debottlenecking on brownfield expansion of writing and printing paper segment. You see the demand-supply balance turning unfavorable over the next 1 to 2 years. As I have said, India's position is different. There has been a growth of minimum 6 to 7% in Indian paper industry, including in the printing and writing sector. Going forward, I expect this 6 to 7% will be maintained. The demand will be there. The issue is whether the dumping of paper from China and the ASEAN countries, whether it will impact the margins of domestic content. That is the issue. I don't expect there is a demand-supply balance getting altered in the next 1 or 2 years. Tamil Nadu Newsprint and Paper Center has a program for exchange of coal with bagasse. That exchange proved unfavorable over the last 1 to 1.5 years due to sharp increase in coal prices. However, over long term, TNPL has benefited from the strategy of exchange. Whether we have considered similar strategy earlier, and if not, why not? Is bagasse from Ponni sugar sufficient for all our capacity, and hence we have not considered the strategy? No. We have a similar formula, similar strategy in respect of bagasse procurement from Ponni. In addition to coal, our formula also makes use of supplying biofuel by Ponni to release steam for us. Incidentally, you may not be aware, or perhaps you are aware, you are not aware, that it is SPB which played the leading role in creating TNPL. And this bagasse exchange ratio was something that we structured in association with Sugar Corporation of Tamil Nadu for this project. The same strategy we are using in respect of procurement of bagasse by SPB as well. Can you please help us to understand the economics of INR 700 crores investment in phase 1? Given that benefit will largely be in the form of replacement of purchased pulp with in-house pulp, how much savings can this generate? Given that investment is almost equal to 88% of our current. I can only assure Mr. Budget here that not to be unduly worried about 700 crores. 700 crores is the number which is somewhat negative at the time and has been given for purposes of our completion of EC application. This will be carefully worked out and then see what is necessary to be spent. But then I want to assure you that this budget, this 4, this MDP 4, not only enhances paper pulp production, which means, as I explained just a few minutes ago, it gives you steam, it gives you power. Therefore, it is in addition to pulp. Pulp is not the only output from this. You also get some steam and power, which also helps you to reduce some cost. And it also contemplates some increase in paper production as well. Therefore, definitely this 700 crores is something which will be fine-tuned. And I also, as mentioned in my notification to the stock exchanges, that this entire project will be reviewed by our board of directors and then their clearance obtained before taking off. Therefore, I think more details we'll get to know as we go along. Can you please walk us through the strategic rationale of acquisition of Sarvalakshmi? What would be the synergies? The Sarvalakshmi mill is something which is about hardly 3 kilometers away from my Tirunelveli unit. And it has got a power plant of about 15 megawatt based on some coal. In addition to a paper making machine and a DIP plant. And our idea is it will provide a lot of synergy for us with our Tirunelveli plant in sharing power, sharing DIP, etc. And therefore, we think it will add value. This investment will add value to SPB. Then before that, we have to really do some repairs, rework, and then we also will have to upgrade for us to produce quality fine papers. That is what we have in mind now. Mr. Vaibhav, I think I have answered all your queries and, to the best of my ability, and that
Few questions have come from chat.
And I think I also have a few questions that Shivaraman. Sir, as I understand, there is a degrowth in
writing
and printing paper. That is Shivaraman. Huh? Shivaraman, I don't think there is any degrowth in writing paper, at least in India. It is there, certainly outside of India, but I don't think it is happening inside India. Shivaraman K. Sir, is there any proposal to reward the shareholders with bonus shares? I think bonus shares alone is not the only way to reward the shareholders. We are taking the opportunity to reward the shareholders on possible times. We'll continue to reward the shareholders with high dividend. Srivatsal. We are at record profits. What is your sense of normalized profitability in the medium term? Pricing is 30% higher than pre-COVID. What are the key risks you have to see, especially given the sharp fall in pulp prices? The sharp fall in pulp prices means there will be a fall in paper prices as well outside of India. And if that paper at low prices has to come into India, will definitely affect domestic prices. That is a significant impact in the immediate term. and therefore it will have some impact on the profitability in the medium term, in the near term as well as in the medium term. This is something I am not able to really quantify as of now, because we are all trying to see how to ward off this unwanted imports through some, with the help of the government. I have really no, I'm not able to give you an answer pinpointing what is the impact in terms of percentage as of now. Given strong cash flows and capex of 500 crores, still we see huge surplus of cash. What is the plan to return cash to shareholders? I think first priority is to really build capacity and growth. And I think returning cash to shareholders can take place, can wait until we complete this. Why employees low strength? I'm not able to understand this question from Nalini. Why employees low strength? I'm not able to understand this question. I thought I am having sufficient employees, or probably a little more employees. I think the question is different. Therefore, I am now leaving the question as it is. Thank you. That finishes our queries from various shareholders. The queries that I received from the queries that I received also from the mail, and also now on the chat. And I think with that, I think I have answered various queries raised by the shareholders to the best of my ability. If you have any supplementary or any other clarification, etc., please mail us. We'll certainly respond to you quickly. And that concludes the question and answer session. And we move on with the concluding session. Concluding remarks. Members may note that the voting on the NSDL platform will continue to be open for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, only 15 minutes. I have the NSDL man here and he says only 15 more minutes. Therefore, please rush. As of now, about 295 shareholders are present. We started with 260 and odd. We have got 294. I am grateful to all of them for this high number participating in the meeting, and have remained so in the most part of the meeting. I am thankful to them. Members who have not cast their vote or requested to do so now, the board of directors have appointed Mr. Shankar Subramaniam, practicing company secretary, as the scrutinizer to supervise the e-voting process. I also hereby authorize Mr. S. Srinivas, our CFO and compliance officer, to declare the result of the voting and place the results on the website of the company at the earliest. The resolutions as set forth in the notices shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to receipt of requisite number of votes. And we are grateful to all our shareholders from across the country who participated in the AGM through video conferencing. Thank you all for attending the meeting, and I hereby declare the proceedings as closed. Kindly take care of your health and stay safe. Thank you for your sustained support to the company. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That closes the AGM.